Y'all, Joe Rogan just blew the lid off Hollywood's fakest couple, and when I say he didn't hold back, I mean he ripped them apart in front of millions. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just got humiliated on the Joe Rogan Experience in a way that's got the entire internet screaming. It all started with Joe Rogan weighing in on the Justin Baldoni versus Ryan and Blake legal mess. And honey, when Rogan speaks, people listen. But this time, he didn't just comment. He chose sides. He stood tall with Justin, and what he said about Blake and Ryan might just be the end of their reign, and possibly even the end of Deadpool as we know it.
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they've up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Rogan made it crystal clear. Blake and Ryan messed up. Big time. Suing Justin? Bad move. Rogan said it destroyed their entire public image. And when Joe Rogan says you've trashed your reputation, yeah, you're done. He went even further, giving Baldoni a standing ovation for standing up against two of Hollywood's most powerful players. Joe pointed out what we all feel. Most people wouldn't dare go against the likes of Ryan and Blake. But Justin, he's out here dropping receipts, fighting back, and putting everything on the line. And those receipts? Oh, they're juicy. Text messages, audio recordings, a whole damn website breaking down what really happened behind the scenes. And if you thought that was bad, Joe exposed one of the texts that flat out contradicts Blake's story about Justin entering her trailer. And Ryan? Baby, you can't run from this. Joe said it's way too late for Ryan to pretend he's not involved. But here's the tea that really shook the internet. Joe doesn't think this lawsuit is about what Blake and Ryan are pretending it is. Nope. He said it's about control, about taking over Justin's franchise. And get this. Joe hinted that they might be using the Me Too movement to manipulate the narrative and steal the spotlight. He compared it to Johnny Depp's court battle, someone trying to salvage his career from false accusations. Joe said this is Baldoni's fight to survive, and baby, the battle lines have been drawn. With that March 2026 trial looming, this drama's just getting started. But wait, Joe wasn't done. He took the conversation straight into Marvel territory, and what he exposed? Scandalous. He suggested there's some real shady business happening when it comes to how people get Marvel roles. And spoiler alert, it's not about talent. According to Joe, it's all about who you know, who you're married to, and who you're sleeping with. He didn't name names, but it wasn't hard to guess. Fans immediately tied it back to whispers about Blake trying to weasel her way into the Marvel universe by using Ryan's clout as Deadpool. Allegedly, she's been making calls, pulling strings, and leaning hard on her hubby's influence to secure a role. And Ryan? Well, he's not just Deadpool. He has pull, influence, connections. He can make things happen behind the scenes. But that kind of power comes with a price. And now the spotlight's burning. Marvel execs reportedly aren't loving Blake's aggressive push. And now that Rogan aired it all out on his podcast, Ryan's team is in full-on panic mode. Sources even say Ryan privately reached out to make sure Joe wouldn't go deeper in a future episode. But if there was nothing to hide, why the panic? This whole situation is starting to look less like a misunderstanding and more like a calculated Hollywood power grab, and the kind that could blow up the entire Marvel empire. Joe Rogan doesn't bend to pressure, period. Hollywood PR firms can't scare him. The man built his whole career on speaking the unfiltered truth, and this time, he's doubling down.
What if she just turned positive, just now? Positive for pregnancy.
I just disagree that.
What if it just happened today?
You can draw a line on when.
You can't.
Once life has begun, I don't think you draw lines. At the very moment.
No apologies, no retractions. Just Joe letting the storm swirl, and Ryan felt it, hard. Because once people realized Ryan was shook, they started digging. And oh boy, did they find dirt. Suddenly, people were rewatching old Blake interviews, reanalyzing rumors about Marvel backdoor deals, looking sideways at Ryan for allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to benefit his wife. And that's when it happened. Joe Rogan, in a sarcastic moment, called Ryan a predator. Now, whether it was a joke or not doesn't matter, because the internet ran with it. Suddenly, every awkward moment, every questionable joke, every cringy interview clip was being clipped and posted as proof. Now, this wasn't just a PR issue. It became a character assassination. Fans were flipping the narrative from lovable Hollywood couple to manipulative industry puppeteers.
You guys are so sweet not to shout. This is so sweet.
And just when things couldn't get more awkward, Blake showed up to her A Simple Favor sequel premiere, alone. Now sure, Ryan doesn't have to be at every event, but come on, this was huge. Where was he? The energy that night? Office fans weren't hyped, the carpet felt cold, and the biggest red flag? A protester stood outside holding a sign that read, "Justice for Justin Baldoni." Yup, people are not letting this lawsuit slide under the rug. That sign reminded everyone that Blake's image, the classy, untouchable fashion girl, is cracking. And when Hollywood starts seeing those cracks, they jump ship. Word on the street is that Marvel isn't happy. And we all know Marvel loves control. They protect their image like Fort Knox. So when their poster boy is tied up in internet chaos and a lawsuit scandal, that's not just embarrassing, it's a liability. And Marvel doesn't hesitate to cut ties when things get messy. Just ask the long list of stars they've quietly dropped. Even Ryan Reynolds, yes, Deadpool himself, isn't safe. Blake? Oh, she's taking hits left and right. Fashion houses that used to worship her, pulling back, stylists, ghosting, red carpet buzz, gone. It's not a public takedown, it's worse. It's the quiet erasure. You don't get a press release saying you're canceled. You just stop getting invited, stop getting called, and suddenly Hollywood doesn't know you anymore. And y'all, the silence right now, deafening.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Ryan and Blake are in defense mode, PR teams working overtime, but the gossip blogs aren't buying it. Blake disappeared from socials, no quirky tweets, no interviews, the relatable queen, gone. That's not just coincidence, that's strategy. That's the kind of silence that screams, say nothing or risk losing it all. Meanwhile, Ryan's out there smiling for cameras, doing press. But fans noticed the usual charm, missing, the jokes, flat, the vibe, staged, and worst of all, the blog stopped caring. Even Blake's team tried to spin it. She's focused on motherhood, she's strong, blah, blah, blah. But nobody's buying it. It all feels forced, fake, and desperate. And you know what happens when you lose control of the narrative? Hollywood writes you out. Suddenly, it's not about your acting, your roles, or your money. It's about the desperation, the panic, the cover-ups, and no one wants to touch a scandal that won't die. Brands started backing off, celebs went silent, red carpets felt colder, and the Marvel scandal that started as a whisper, it's now screaming. Even the fans who used to defend Ryan and Blake with their whole chests, they're falling silent too. Because once Joe Rogan puts a target on you, the internet follows. And the worst part, there's receipts.
Blake Lively's empire is crumbling. Her once thriving hair care line is tanking, and retailers are pulling her products off the shelves. Sales are plummeting, investors are backing out, and her cocktail brand could be next.
Hollywood doesn't support talent, it supports perception. And when powerful people no longer see you as valuable, they let you sink.
It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Thank you.
People dug up old press interviews, shady interactions, even whispers from industry insiders about how this couple has been playing the long game, working the system behind the scenes to stay on top. But now, that empire's starting to collapse. And here's the thing, even if nothing illegal happened, none of that matters in Hollywood. It's not about facts, it's about perception. And right now, the perception is ugly. Ryan Reynolds, the charming, lovable prankster, is being viewed as manipulative. Blake, the relatable fashion icon, is being seen as a PR mastermind gone rogue. And once that public image takes a hit, it's near impossible to recover. Did y'all catch the vibe at Blake's premiere? The awkwardness was thick. Her co-stars barely made eye contact. The red carpet smiles looked forced. It wasn't just bad. It was chilling. Like the industry was already preparing to ice her out. Let's be real. Blake's whole career has always been more image than substance. No shade, but we're not exactly watching her win Oscars. She's been carried by fashion campaigns, quirky interviews, and carefully curated moments. But now that image is cracking. What's left? Silence. And that silence, it's killing her career. Now let's get into the dirty, messy, nasty part of this whole disaster. Because word is, Blake started the whole war. Yep. She and her PR team allegedly began the smear campaign against Justin Baldoni, planting stories, pushing narratives, trying to assassinate his character, and it backfired. Instead of destroying Justin, Blake is the one taking blow after blow. The internet turned on her. The industry is pulling back. Her carefully crafted image is crumbling like a stale croissant. This isn't one of those fast, fiery scandals that fade in a week. Oh no. This is slow, painful, and unrelenting. The kind of scandal where the calls stop coming, the fashion brands stop tagging, and suddenly you're watching from the sidelines as Hollywood moves on without you. Here's the worst part. Hollywood doesn't care who's right in a scandal. They care who still has power. And right now, Blake and Ryan are losing it. Because it's not about how much money you make or how many followers you have. It's about influence. The kind of influence that makes problems go away, that silences accusations, that keeps careers safe. And when that influence starts slipping, so does everything else. What's most shocking is how fast this is all unraveling. One wrong move and Hollywood's already putting you on the shelf. But baby, it's not over yet. Because the lawsuit drama, it's still ongoing. And the tea just keeps getting hotter. New rumors just dropped and they're wild. Some folks believe Justin Baldoni's team is actually trying to give Blake an out. Yep, you heard that right. What if Blake's being portrayed as the pawn, not the villain? Here's how the theory goes. Justin's team might be hinting that the real villain is Blake's PR firm. Allegedly, they misled her, fed her bad info, made her believe Justin was attacking her. And if Blake comes out, owns up, and apologizes, if she shifts the blame to her team, she could save face. It sounds insane, but it's not impossible. And here's where it gets spicy, because a new batch of court documents just hit the internet, and baby, they are messy. Jen Il, a known ally of Justin, came forward with bombshell accusations about Stephanie Jones, the PR queen behind Blake's image. According to Jen, Stephanie wasn't just a PR strategist. She was out here running a full-on psychic-fueled cult. No joke. Jen says Stephanie used a psychic to predict things about her employees. Yes, a psychic, but that's not even the wildest part. Stephanie allegedly stole confidential info from her employees' phones, passed it along to Blake, and sparked this entire feud with Justin. Imagine your PR team secretly collecting dirt and using it to burn bridges you didn't even mean to cross. It gets darker. Stephanie reportedly convinced Blake that Justin was behind a smear campaign, even though there was no proof. And Blake, trusting her team, went after him. But if all of this came from Stephanie's manipulation, Blake might have been dragged into a war she didn't even understand. And it doesn't stop there. Jen says Stephanie was completely unhinged, throwing tantrums, accusing employees of disloyalty, spreading lies about people being addicts and gamblers. One time, she apparently told everyone, based on her psychic's vision, that a woman named Abel was about to have twins. TWINS, from a psychic. Hollywood is weird, but this is next-level chaos. And the creepiest part? Stephanie allegedly made fake accounts to stalk former employees and journalists. People are even saying she planted fake stories in the press to get revenge on anyone who left her team. So yeah, if Blake really was being manipulated by someone like that, then this drama might not be as black and white as it seems. The more you look at it, the more it seems like Stephanie Jones is the real villain here. She's the one who allegedly leaked the texts, stirred up the drama, fueled Blake's fears, and started a war that's threatening to destroy careers. Could Blake still clear her name? Maybe. But if she wants a future in this industry, she's going to have to do more than stay silent. She'll have to own it, take responsibility, and throw her PR team under the bus. Because right now, time is running out. we're still waiting on the judge's next move. The court case is heating up, new documents are flying, and the gossip? Oh baby, it's not slowing down anytime soon. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively might still be smiling for cameras, but behind closed doors, that grip on power is slipping. The industry is watching, the fans are talking, and Joe Rogan, he lit the match that started it all. The question now is, will they survive the fire? Or is this the beginning of the end for Hollywood's golden couple? Stay tuned.